Hello, welcome to this video. It's all liberals cause and effect. We like to stress a little bit on the decay in society, not just what you see when you go in society, but also what's on TV. How we've got to a point where there's a completely immoral uh, what do you say, selection of television shows on there. You can't even go to look up a clean program anymore on cable without going and running into something completely wrong and immoral, like um, the show with the man who changed his gender to a female. That's just completely wrong. And to stress people out like that, like the little boy who his mom, he was on. I seen him on. I had to walk out. It was on that doctor show, Doctor Oz or whatever. Had this person on the show, and it looked totally to me like their mother was manipulating the person to change and be a woman because she wanted a daughter, not necessarily because the guy wanted to be a girl or was unhappy being a boy. There is, if you look at people in general, people are frustrated with life a lot of times for different reasons, and it's because of things pitched at them from other people instead of letting them live their own life and make their own determinations in their own life. There you have somebody who was from day one who was manipulated by their own mother, and I guarantee you that there's no Christianity in their family. I guarantee you the mother does not believe in God, doesn't believe that there's a Jesus Christ, thinks that the Bible is a bunch of mythological stories that are just fiction, not true at all. Even though there's evidence of existence of all of those things, that they were not just stories, that they were actually true events, people still knock it like that so that they can live their life the way they want to. So they trade, in a sense, it'd be like their eternal salvation, right? With giving God and the world and everything existence credence to a creator. Um, they want to take that credence away from our beginning and where we came from and our existence and give it their own life and their own ideas. And that's basically another curse of man is that God gave us free will. So he gave us such an intellect and such a free mind to be able to go off and think like that. And really, I think that those guys are a waste of our time. But if I'm watching a program, let's say I think Ancient Aliens is interesting. But as soon as the guy says, okay, Jesus Christ came here, he was an alien and he wasn't really the son of God. He just broke bread and fed all these people fish and bread and multiplied it and fed all these people on the massive scale. But he was an alien because that's how aliens do this weird stuff, you know. It has nothing to do with a original origin of mankind in itself. So now, moving on to that, I'm just trying to say I'm deeply, deeply, deeply frustrated with not being able to go and find things that are not clean for myself. Sometimes when I'm looking to find something on TV, I don't want to be bombarded with, what do you say, hermaphrodites, transvestites, transgender, transsexuals. I don't want to be bombarded with it. I understand that it's out in the world, but you don't have to force it on other people. You don't have to force people to try to understand and listen. No, you don't. Get that shit out of my face and keep it out of my face. Thank you. All right. So now I'm going to stress um, my home state, Oregon. I was thinking about going without a cap on, but I'm wearing it so that I can show my team pride for my team, and also for my state. I'm going to express some criticism that I have with liberalism altogether and how that state totally uh, muffed the ball and fumbled, but they don't care because that's the way that the liberals play the game. They fumble the ball, they just keep no in fumbling, keep fumbling it all the way to the other people's end zone so that they can get a touchdown, and that's where we're at right now. We're gonna score a touchdown on Obama. We're gonna score a touchdown on Hillary Clinton. We're gonna score a touchdown on all these pathetic liberal losers that up to this point have all proven that socialism is a scam and is a sham and it is worse than capitalism. If you can get a hold on greedy people, cheaters who cheat the system and capitalism, then you truly do have the greatest system in the world. But the banks cannot hold it all. So we need a president who is like JFK as our president today. That's what he did, and that's what got himself killed. I really don't think it was a conspiracy for like the communists got him. You know, I don't think it could have been. I guess the time was real tense, but you got to also remember who surrounded JFK. The elitists went right into charge as soon as JFK got his head blown off. Look who was in charge ever since, unless it's been a Republican. And then they knock them so bad that they get their liberal, filthy, scumbag Democrat piece of garbage in office with all the lies and the rumors. So Obama hasn't done a budget. Not one time. He's been in there this whole entire time. He's wasting our time, money, wasting our military, wasting everything with America, just wasting it. George Bush was not. He was very considerate whenever it came to our country and our troops also. And George Bush had a government surplus for the war and did a budget the entire time. He was a responsible president. He couldn't wait to get out of there. He was only hoping that another guy would go in and replace him when he was done that was responsible and cared about America, not somebody who manipulates America and is set out to get even with America like Obama. The Democrat Party should be put on trial. Excuse me. Coffee makes me burp. But the entire Democrat Party, it shouldn't just be Hillary Clinton on trial. The whole political Democrat Party should be on trial. Should be on trial for the way they manipulate things. So now I want to talk about is it we'll look it up. We'll look up what state banned the American flag. Because now you're not just talking about them ban the they didn't just ban the Confederate flag, which we're gonna get another poll. We're gonna put a Confederate flag out here right next to our American flag out here. So if it's a university, I could really care less. If it's a and that's what it looks like. UC Irvine, U.S. flag banned to avoid triggering something. They're pussies. You guys are a bunch of pussies. What you're pushing is you're pushing World War III, and you're pushing at least another civil war here, and it's not going to be a stalemate. Some people are really going to wind up dead, and the weaker you are, the weaker link you are, the easier of a target and the faster off I believe you are going to be dead and deceased if we have another war here. But liberals, go ahead and keep pushing this, go shit on my flag and see if I don't cut your head off like a terrorist. Like one of these terrorist people. I swear, you piss me off so bad I might rip your head right off with your spine connected to your head if I ever seen you shit on my flag, on my U.S. flag. And I respect them both. I respect the Confederate flag and the American flag. See those? That means don't tread on my ass or I will shoot to kill. Okay? And I respect the Confederate flag and the American flag. Obviously, there was good people on both sides, even though it was a shitty war. And it was brother against brother, not brother against slave, like the North tries to make it out to be. It's a complete sham. But there was good people on both sides that wanted to end slavery in a freer America. So that's what it's all about, and that's where we get to by protecting this flag and the Confederate flag and our history is to protect those people individuals who believed in something greater and stronger and fairness. So basically what the North did was the North sanctioned the South, much like Obama and the liberals sanctioned every Republican. It's a fact, it's a proven fact that that piece of garbage leader that you guys voted for went after people that's highly illegal. His ass should be thrown in prison for the rest of his life. He should never be. He should be in shackles and in a ball and chain. He should have to drag around for eternity, as far as I'm concerned. But for the rest of his natural life, at least, if you're not gonna take this guy out and just kill him and just wipe him and his whole family out. Because they're not for us, they're not for America, they're for dividing us and splitting us all up and causing some real shit to happen here again. And it's going to be repetitive. It's going to be the South will rise again, but it's going to be common people all around that sees the bullshit that's going to rise up with them. So it's not just going to be the South this time, it's going to be the West, it's going to be the South, and it's going to be the East and the North, all going to surround these idiot, weak people who want the government to come in and make up all these rules for us to have to abide by. Like, they're so weak, like they're going to be able to force us to have to follow that crap. Dude, I feel like getting up and mooning this camera right now and pulling my drawers down and putting my moon and spreading my cheeks and giving you the moon mean red eye. I'm serious. I really feel that ticked off about government power and government control and people not being able to make up their own minds, keep their own selves 6 o'clocks clean, not be a traitor to your own people and not be a criminal. So like people cannot be trusted or something. That's what liberalism means to me, is that people out here are not going to be trusted. They can't be trusted. And there's no possible way that you could ever teach people to stay out of trouble. But that's liberalism. That's what liberalism teaches you. It teaches you how to go and get your ass in trouble. Me, I could teach you how to go and have fun, but yet not get your ass in trouble and not find your ass in a jail cell or in prison or something stupid. But you go right on ahead and keep voting Democrat all you want. So I'm going to report this thing one more time, okay? This is what liberalism caused in my home state, okay? Everybody knows that whenever you're a child or whatever, your parents, assuming they're responsible people, they assume the responsibility over people until they're 18 years old. But somehow the government in Oregon took some of the rights away from parents, okay, as a government, because they're better than your parent. They can teach your kid better than you could ever teach kids, how to be. So what they did was they gave people the right to start this transgender transformation of their body with hormones and different things like that they start doing and give you a sex change at the age of 15 years old in Oregon without your parents' consent. You do not have to have your parents' consent for that. So I don't know I don't know, but it looks like a big um, slap in everybody's face to me, as far as I'm concerned. That's abuse of authority. That's like them convening in private, going and not telling people what the hell they're doing. I want to say the F word. These guys are going and not telling people what the hell they are doing behind closed doors. Um, it's not your. They're the biggest liars I've ever heard of in my life because of shit like them saying like Nancy Pelosi and Obama and these people saying they're going to be the most transparent people ever. Well, this is exactly how liberals work. This is how your president works. And I give you an example of Oregon. So they go behind every parent's back, okay, even though you have to assume responsibility in what happens to these adolescents until they're of age. In our society, age of accountability is 18 years old when you're able to go to man jail, grown up man jail, right? But before then, they want to take certain rights away from parents like that, and they're manipulating people's minds, their hearts, their lives, and their souls. So, regardless if you want to believe there's a God or not, okay, I truly believe in it and believe that this is a manipulation, it's morbid, and a mutilation, not just a mutation, but a mutilation of your body, of what God gave you. So, I'm gonna fight this one hard till whatever happens happens. But I want to encourage people: if you are a certain sex, don't change your sex. Learn how to be happy with yourself, and also try to understand what else is ailing you and making you feel different, not happy, or satisfied with who you are. Because obviously, it's not you. It's something else. Someone else manipulating you who thinks they're bigger and better than your parents, somebody smarter, than your godparent, or somebody who, has been entrusted to protect you and assure your safety and put a roof over your head and hopefully a bed. I mean, children who have to live without a bed, that's pretty sad. But I'm just saying they're taking so much away from the family. That's not family. That is ruining people's opportunities and chances to live, in my opinion. And I'll prove it. I'll prove my opinion to be true. That they'll prove it for me. Put it to you that way. I'll say all this stuff, and then there'll be a time that'll come at some point in the future, and I'll say, I told you so. I told you it wouldn't work like that. You were manipulating the situation, and you're a liar, sir. So, socialism is not a good thing, not just because the wrong people haven't been in charge yet. Okay, you can't win that one with Hillary because she was kind of worked dirty with Obama there. So we know that she's just gonna keep running America into the ground. She has no strategy or real way of making money for the government or herself, other than going and ripping people off like her husband did when he was president of America, and he went after the 401ks and whatever he got off of slave labor and running sweatshops all over the world. He sent basically he took a big dump on American businesses here and sent a lot of our businesses overseas, where they had to have at least moved to Mexico. Was the closest place they could be here, and if you were an American, you want to keep your job, you'd have to move to Mexico, thanks to Bill Clinton. So I'm just saying that, who do you think works in these factories that Bill Clinton forced to go overseas and stuff? So it's time enough to quit pantying around and acting like these people are great when really they're a bunch of assholes. They're donkeys, like ever so clever maneuvering donkey, jackass that keeps forcing his way into some and won't shut up until they get their way. They want to have these abortions. They want to fight for abortion to the point where you can kill a living baby, a baby that was just born. And the disgusting facts that was reported on the 700 Club the other day, they're smashing live babies' faces, cutting through their face or smashing through their face so that they can keep the brain intact, so that they can use the brain for their science and research. They have to keep these babies, they have to have them born alive, and then how they get a leg or some part of their body. This lady said that she could feel it in a child, that it was suffering, that it felt tremendous pain. She could tell that how a human reacts to pain, that these babies were um, they were basically being tortured to death by Planned Parenthood. So that's all liberals cause and effects. I don't know how else to explain it except that it's going to go all downhill. It's going to be all destroyed, except for the people out here that were able to hold on to things a little bit with moral class. I would say they're the classy people of America, not the classless people who want to go out and screw off and screw their life up and screw their life around. Um, that's real cause and effect to anybody's action. Anybody's action. There's always a reaction or a cause and effect from what you did. Either it's good and it's beneficial. It shouldn't ever be. And it's sad. In some cases, I've been basically affected, or how would you say that? In a scenario where I did good things for people, and maybe it was because I was in the wrong place, the wrong time, or however you'd say that. I did something good, something noble, something that they'd say, oh, only somebody who has your back would do that. But yet I got scorned, I got ridiculed, and basically accused or whatever. They want to, I've had that happen. So humans don't ever seem to surprise me how they are, but this liberal cause and effect shit has got to stop. Otherwise, it's going to affect everybody else except for a few people who can get away with it, who don't tolerate it. And it just, all they can do is get away from it because it's so forced and pushed. So I don't know what the hell you people are all thinking, how you think some socialist or some Democrats gonna save America or something up to this point now. But go ahead, let's see it. And then whenever the shit hits the fan, we can start a new economy and start a new government and a new system. And like I said, all the weak should die, I guess, anyways. We were all trying to protect the weak, but we didn't know that some of the weak were going to come out and basically um, try to rise up against the strong. You know what I mean? That's what you have right there. You have liberals that are weak. They don't want to go fight. They want to cut and run from Iraq and these other places. They want to close Guantanamo Bay down. Like that's going to be helpful to release all these terrorists back into the world. It's going to be helpful for us, huh? So you got the weakest people in the world, or in this country anyways, like Obama, okay, would not ever, if Ronald Reagan came here, he would punch the lights out of Obama like quick and silly. Obama wouldn't even stand a chance. And I'm just saying it. That's how these other weak-minded people think that they can get all tough and push us around and act like we're going to abide by their laws and their rules, act like they're really laws and rules, when they went behind our backs and made these laws anyways without us even knowing about it. The best that they could. The best that they could. Because that's also illegal for them doing that. But they still do what they can. But pure example of a liberal like Obama, the weakest person, probably the weakest Like, not just the most hateful, disgusting, classless person that ever lived whenever it comes to their opinion of America, but he wants to get even with America and can't even explain why. He wouldn't even be able to explain to you why he's got such a problem with America and why he hates it here so much. But yet the people made him president. This weak piece of garbage, the weakest, most classless piece of garbage I've ever heard of in my life. You guys all forced to have to be our president. So the weak isn't really rising up through the government, and the weak's not going to have to try to make our cops, our military, all the other strong people that do those jobs go up against other real Americans who are strong willed, strong minded, and strong physically, have to go up against our own selves because of your political bullshit. You know, be politically correct. You be politically correct. We can be as classless and unpolitically correct as we can be, ever. But you better watch your P's and Q's, you Republicans. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, and it's a smudge pot. How do you say? Powder keg. It's a powder keg about to erupt. So who's good people and who's the bad people? Hmm? Good people are the ones who are like, oh, just let them be gay. Let these gay people get married, even though it's sacrilegious and it's really going against religious freedoms to make that a law. And that's what the government thinks they're better than God now. So, and then basically we'll see the fallout of all of this stuff. So yeah, they deserve rights. They need rights too. You know. Even though it's highly unconstitutional what they did, they used the Constitution to get away with that when they're actually um, the government refused to stand up for religious culture freedom, religious freedoms. I want to have some people act like it's like the church has religious freedom or something, and people don't have religious freedoms. That's not right. That politician, those senators, those faggots should ought to be taken out of wherever they are standing or sitting by 1,000 or more pissed off biker ass pissed motherfuckers that the police and the military won't even fuck with, right? Should go and grab that bitch and those other faggots out of their shit and should drag their ass out and stomp their fucking head into the fucking ground, into the asphalt, for even suggesting that we don't have our rights. Rights as a disabled person, rights as a religious person, or rights as your sex. Not how you have sex, you dumb fucking idiot. It's sex. Like if I have a dick or a pussy, you dumb fucking moron. What do you think sex means? Oh, it's how I perform sex, and it's something that's supposed to be private now. So private matter gets used and manipulated so they can abuse the law and the authority. I hate you, Supreme Court. I hate you, and I will push to no end with this YouTube, with Facebook, social media, and everything else. I will push it to no end to us having no Supreme Court. Maybe even killing you. Maybe even killing every single justice off for that. Because it's such a morbid abuse of law, abuse of authority. You got Kagan and this other Supreme Court justice that Obama appointed or whatever. Those hags have openly come out before they made a ruling on this gay marriage thing that they are in full support of it and they support the homosexual movement. Like, that's not where you get pedophiles and other sickos out of, just like anybody else who the government or police or anybody tries to keep in line, right? tries to keep from overreacting or breaking the law or whatever. If you want to say you're trying to keep people, restrain people from breaking the law, right? Why are you letting homosexuals just do whatever the hell they want to do? Because now you're putting into their mind that they can get away with anything, right? So there's no checks and balances whenever it comes to the stuff that liberals manipulate. So I really, really am going to fight for their death, for the death of the Democrat Party and the death of liberalism, because liberalism means absolutely nothing good. There's nothing good that's going to come out of liberalism. Nothing. The end point, you're going to see me back here going, I told you so. I told you, dumb fucking idiot. So vote for a Republican. Vote for Donald Trump.